If you're wondering what the heck is UGC and how can I get some money from it, look no further, I got you. My name is Alyssa Amanla and I'm a UGC creator, also a social media professional for over a decade. This video will talk about how I made $2,000 in the last 4 months doing UGC. Timestamps will be in the description below because I value your time and there's nothing worse than people who waste your time. So let's get started. All right, for starters, what is UGC? So UGC stands for user-generated content, and basically what that means is it's content created by users rather than like a brand, organization, or an influencer. UGC can take many forms. It can be photos, it can be videos, sometimes some type of review. It usually is just a more authentic, natural way to showcase your product from an everyday consumer versus an influencer. UGC is on the rise and it is a huge business, and my predictions for 2023 and 2024 onward, it's probably going to be even bigger than influencers. You heard it here. That's just my opinion. I think that it is a great industry, and I think that right now we're in the very early stages of UGC, and I think it's just going to continue to evolve. All right, now the good stuff. How I made $2,000 doing UGC. For starters, I started off with various apps and different places to find gigs. So the apps I found the most success with, I'm going to list them here one by one. So the first one was Upwork. Upwork was when I first started on UGC, basically a freelance app, and it allows various businesses or even just individual people who are looking for freelancer work. So I've gotten around 6 gigs on Upwork and I've made around $480, which isn't bad, especially when you were first starting off. There are a lot of low paying gigs on Upwork, so my suggestion would be just to start there. I wouldn't spend my entire UGC career on Upwork. Another app I found UGC gigs on was Backstage. Now Backstage was originally kind of a place where actors would go to find gigs and auditions and things like that. They recently started doing UGC, so when I went on Backstage, I saw a lot of UGC gigs. They actually have its own section for just UGC. So Backstage has a lot of gigs that are more higher paying. I've made around $350 on Backstage, and I've basically already paid for my membership. I think it's like $24 a year. The only thing I don't like about Backstage sometimes is you have to audition sometimes for UGC gigs. So basically there'll be a posting up and then they'll include slides or a script that they want you to read off of to get a sense of, how you speak or how you look, which sometimes can be frustrating. Most UGC gigs, you just send your portfolio and either they like your work or they don't. But with Backstage, you often have to audition. All right, another place that I made money from UGC, believe it or not, was a Pinterest event. So for context, I'm a creator as well, and I got invited to a Pinterest event. And there was all these influencers there and brands and various things there. So while I was at the event, and honestly, I didn't even want to go to the event. I just had gotten laid off, and I was just feeling like really down and depressed. And I was like, I don't want to be around people. I'm not trying to go. But I went. And I met this girl there who was a social media manager. And that's my background too. My most recent position now is a social media director. So I've been doing social a long time. So we were just talking, relating to each other about our jobs. I told her I got laid off, but I had started doing UGC. And she's like, oh, we're looking for UGC creators. Can you, give me your contact? And I was like, okay, sure. Context, I live in LA, and events in LA are very common. Oftentimes people will ask for your email, your number, and nothing ever happens from it. It doesn't really go anywhere. Nonetheless, I gave her my email, and then I would say maybe about a week later, she reached out and asked me for my UGC portfolio, and I was like, sure, send her the portfolio. And then we ended up, she sent me an email from her actual company email, which is a really popular skincare brand, and we were going back and forth. We negotiated, and I secured my highest paid UGC to date, which was $850. And yeah, it was for a skincare brand because I just happened to meet the social media manager. It's great, and I think it's important to just put yourself out there and network. A lot of times you never know what it could lead to. The last place I made money from UGC is Incense, the app, and this is my favorite UGC app of all time. I've only made around $275 from it, but that's just yet. I'm manifesting more. But I love the app. It's just very easy to navigate and very organized, and there's tons and tons every single day, new listings for UGC, and they're pretty high paying. Some of them are on the lower end, but some of them are up to $500, $300, $150. It really just depends. But I love Incense. I want them to sponsor me one day. manifesting because it's an incredible app. I really love it. And I honestly just secured another gig recently. Yesterday they paid and confirmed, and I just love the communication on it. Thing with Incense is you do have to have like proof of concept, so you have to have like portfolio videos, and I have like an intro video kind of thing, basically introducing myself. But once you get past that, you can get tons and tons of gigs on there. So I highly recommend Incense. So now that you know where to go to make some money from UGC, I think it's essential to talk about how to negotiate your worth, okay? Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. I've been on this journey, like I said, very early into it, only around 4 months, but I've been doing social media for a decade. So I've learned a lot along the way. And especially with UGC, it's essential to know your worth and negotiate. These brands, I've worked for them for years, okay? Brands sometimes can be very manipulative, and they will undervalue you if you allow them to, and they will try to always get more. I know sometimes when negotiating you get discouraged because brands will feel like, oh, they could just find somebody else. But I'm telling you, if you stand your ground, if you're confident, if you're an expert in what you do, and you're providing quality content, they will accept it. But just don't accept anything. My suggestion when you first start off is use stuff around your home. Like, don't just go out there and buy a whole bunch of content. Even gifting, I would only do a certain amount of gifting collabs. Find what you have in your house, make quality UGC from it, and add it to your portfolio, and just continue to build from there. But just know your worth, and don't let these brands take advantage of you, because they absolutely will. I could do a whole nother video on exchanges between brands trying to play me, and if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But just know your worth and stand your ground. Last thing I'm gonna talk about in this video is understanding in perpetuity. I'm gonna put it up here like a teacher, in perpetuity. Basically what that means that is you are allowing brands to own the rights to your content forever. In perpetuity means forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever, okay? And that means even after you've done the work, they can take that content and use it for ads, billboards, whatever. So I've never allowed my content in perpetuity. My biggest contract, I allowed them to use my content rights for a year only, and that's written in the contract, and they sign and I sign. So after a year from when I sent the content over, if I see ads, a billboard or something, I can sue them, okay? And I understand that it can be very tempting. A brand offered me, they're like, this is $350, I think it was like maybe one video. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And like, but we want your content in perpetuity. And I was like, absolutely not. So just protect yourself. Always read your contracts, because I've worked with a lot of brands and literally they will slide and slither that little line in about in perpetuity. Always ask if you're not sure. And when you go read your contracts, I even do command file, and I literally will type in perpetuity and see if there's anywhere in the contract that I missed. Because you know how those contracts are. They're very small print sometimes, so it could be hard to read. Use your discretion, right? I'm not saying that I would never do in perpetuity. It really just depends. But I'm just going to say I'm not going to just give it up so easily. So if you made it this far, I want you guys to comment my secret phrase. And it's UGC is the bomb. Okay, that way I know you guys watched the entire video and that you enjoyed it and it was helpful for you. Also, if you've watched me to this point and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click subscribe below. I'm going to be making a lot more content of UGC, and also I'm going to South Africa tomorrow. So I will be having a vlog up soon about my South Africa trip. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions at all, please comment them down below. I'll include my social handles here. I'm really active on TikTok for UGC, so if you need tips or tricks or just have any questions, just let me know. And thank you guys so much. Really think that we all can succeed at UGC, and I don't think it's oversaturated. There's not too much of anything. Just be yourself, be true, create quality, and you'll be fine. All right, so best of luck and ciao.